Welcome back, Wildling Folk and Chaos Squad. We are here once again to do an epic review of Game of Thrones. Let's do this. Once again, welcome back, Chaos Squad, and we are going to review Game of Thrones Season 7, Episode 4, called The Spoils of War. Now, this was one intense episode, so buckle up. Alright, so basically the episode starts off with the Lannister army moving forth with all the food that they pulled from Castle Rock, so that when they gave the Unsullied the keep, they're gonna starve. Basically, they pillaged everything from the Tyrells' High Garden, so they're moving forth with all their goods, and then we get to see the interaction with Bronn, who he's a sellsword, right? So he wants money, and he's asking Jaime, "Where's all my cash? Where's the good stuff? Where's my castle? Why can't I have that one back there?" kind of thing. And he was just like, "You're an idiot if you want to move in there. It's not safe. The minute you move in there, she could fly in there and just burn it to the ground or take it back. Like, be foolish. Wait till the war is over, and then you can have any of these big castles that you want. But for now, here's a big bag of gold." And then they kind of like bicker back and forth, and we see Bronn poking at him, saying, "Man, you're awfully grumpy for a guy who's winning the war and who's rich and has everything. Did the Queen of Thorns prick you like a little bit before she died?" kind of thing. So it's kind of funny. He almost senses something's going on there. And then we zip back into Westeros and King's Landing, where the Iron Bank is still meeting with Cersei, saying, like, "Where's my money?" And but he realizes they've taken the Tyrells, taken all their goods, tons of money's coming back. They're going to give the city to the bank, I think. Something like that. The bank is just like, your father was a ruthless man. But he paid his dues. He made the interest payments. Like, he always paid his debts. But this is a crazy, huge payment all at once. And like, the Iron Bank is almost going to be sad and almost upset because they like the interest payments and you're paying off so much of it all at once. Kind of funny there. Cersei's just like, "There's going to be more. Don't you worry." Then we go back and we get to see Littlefinger giving the blade to Bran. The foreshadowing, the karma, everything about the scene is just like, holy crap. Really weird, eh? The first thing that was crossing my mind was, does Brandon Stark, or the Three-Eyed Crow, whatever you want to call him, does Brandon realize, because he's seen all these visions and everything, he must know that Littlefinger, that was his dagger. He probably had some part of it. He killed his father. He must know all this stuff. So is he just gonna like whip this dagger into Littlefinger's heart, something like that? Like, oh, so intense. But yeah, Littlefinger saying to him, "I don't know whose blade this was," and all that kind of stuff, just lying right in front of him. I'm just waiting for it, or him to like take over his mind, like how he used to do with Hodor, use his crazy new powers. But he doesn't do anything. But he's rocking some sweet new Hot Wheels there with that weird wheelchair. They got wheelchairs back then, I guess. That's pretty cool. Then Mira walks in and goes to say her goodbye, saying, "You don't really need me anymore. And when they come, I got to be with my family." Brandon's like, "Good. See ya." And she's like, Is that it? Like, no thank you? No. He's like, "Oh, thanks," kind of thing. My brother died for you. Hodor died for you. She was basically looking for him to be like, "No, I need you." And he kind of just let her go. But he says, "I'm not Brandon no more. Like, I've seen too many things," and all this kind of stuff. Really cool interaction there. It's really interesting to see how Brandon is just so cold, and like, what has this guy seen, and what changed with him when Hodor died and they went through the tree and like ran away from the White Walkers? Like, did he, now that the other him or whatever is dead, like, what changed about him? I'm not really, it's really interesting. Like, now he is technically the Three-Eyed Raven. He's not in a tree or anything like that. But he is definitely different, and he kind of scares me. Like, he knows what's going on, and I think he knows what's going to happen, but he's cool as a cucumber, It's pretty interesting. And then we get to see Arya finally arrives back to Winterfell. All the little pups, all the wolves, they're back home. She goes up to the gate, and we get these two dumbass guards, Dumb and Dumber, we'll call them. She's like, I'm Arya Stark, and they're just like, nah, get the fuck out of here. Get out of here. Eventually she talks them into getting inside, and then they tell her to sit down. She sneaks off. Boom, she's gone. She's downstairs looking at her father's old statue. Sansa goes down. We get the first interaction with them, and she's like, do I really gotta call you Lady Stark? And she's like, yeah, of course. And they both kind of like, you know, banter back and forth. I've seen some things. We've all seen some things, you know. Pretty cool interaction there. But and then Sansa says, you know, like, Brandon's back. So they go to see Brandon, and then the interaction here is less creepy, for sure. That, you know, how Brandon kind of mentioned the weird stuff that happened with Sansa and his sister, or Sansa, his sister, you know, like a little bit awkward. Like, yeah, I'm sorry those things happened to you. I kind of seen you, you know, get raped, I guess. Like, he tells Arya that he knows a better list, which she had told Sansa down in the crypt. I have a list of all these people that die on it, and I don't think Sansa believed her, or now that, okay, you got a list, but I don't think she even realizes she's killed, like, all of, like, well, not all of them, but she killed, not River Runs, but, Walder Frey's, his whole family. Like, she is dangerous, but we get to see that as she walks outside and she sees, Brienne sparring with the Squire, and she's like, I kind of want to square off with you. You beat the Hound. And then we see her just ravagely own Brienne. Now, I guess there's a little bit of talk about, like, it's kind of bullshit that she can do that, but if you think about it, she was in Bravos. Like, I don't know what the deal is with Arya in the show. Her story is a little bit different in the book, but basically the same thing, right? She's got access to all these different faces. I think she technically maybe even died. I'm not really sure what happened to her in Bravos, but I think she kind of died in some sense. But she's not really like Arya. People are not really quite getting that, I don't think. She accessed all these different faces. She's trained a little bit there with some of the, you know, faceless assassins and stuff like that. So she's got some weird, different abilities and all that kind of stuff, right? So it's not unreal to think, like, anybody she kills steals their faces. Maybe she learns, like, third kinds of stuff. You know, this is a show where dragons exist, undead exist, people come back to life. That stuff is not unreal to think. Just consider that. But Arya receives Brandon's dagger, and then, yeah, fights Brienne. And then we get to see Jon, who takes Daenerys underground to the crypt, well, not really crypt, but the Dragon Glass mining area, and gets to show her all these hieroglyphics of all the children of the forest and how they fought the White Walkers. And, you know, like, he's saying, I need your help, and she's like, yeah, okay, I can get that. It's pretty crazy, but you gotta bend the knee. I'm like, God damn it. You know, like, it's infuriating how stuck on bending the knee she is, you know, like, just, you almost want to, like, smack the screen. It just really drives me crazy that she's so set on him bending the knee. I don't know why she can't just, you know, rule there. And, like, obviously he's harmless to her. Eventually they're probably gonna figure out they're related in some way, but just let him rule the North, be the king of the North. Why not? You know, you don't have to follow the old ways because they obviously didn't work. Maybe try something new. King up there, king down here, even though you're not a king, you're a queen, whichever, right? But right after that interaction, Daenerys finds out that the Unsullied have been cut off and they were kind of screwed. She demands to everybody there, and then turns to Jon and says, what should I do? He said, you'd be just like everybody else if you killed everybody and burned all the castle, melted everybody down with your dragons. So maybe you shouldn't do that. Then that's all we see from that. And then we, technically we go back to see Arya fight Brienne. I kind of jumped ahead there, but whatever. Jon washes up on shore with the boat coming from the Greyjoy ship. And then we could finally get to see that interaction. My blood was starting to boil and kind of my heart beat a little bit faster. I'm like, oh shit, is he going to kill him? Is he going to beat the shit out of him? Like, is Theon finally going to get what he deserves? Or is he going to redeem himself? Like, they keep almost making it seem like he's going to redeem himself. Remember that boat scene where we're like, oh, this is it. This is where Theon's character becomes a character again. And then he jumps off. And we're like, what? Jon Snow walks up to him, grabs him by the throat, and is like, for what you did for my sister is the only reason I'm not killing you right now. And I'm just like, damn, that's cold. But he's like, look, I need help to go get my sister. Where's the queen? And then he's like, oh, of course you need help to go get your sister. You let her get captured. What the, I'm like, god damn it. Jon responds by saying, the queen's not here. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't know the queen's not there. Where is she? So then we go to the Lannisters army with the Tarleys and like the whole army that's moving back to bring back the spoils of war, right? The whole name of the episode. And then Bronn is talking to Jaime. They're bickering with Rickon, saying, there's all this kind of bullshit. And then all of a sudden, Bronn's like, shut up, do you hear that? And all I hear is thunder in the distance. I'm like, she's got the dragons. Here comes the dragons. But it was more than the dragons. It was all the Blood Riders. It was all the Dothrakis. And her on the big bad Drogo. I'm like, oh man, this is going to be intense. She swoops down instantly, breaking the defenses with the old Dracarys. Dothraki, crazy intense scene when they, right after the fire hits down, they just charge right through. They're riding through the flames. These guys are fearless, and they're just bred to fight, so they don't give two shits if there's fire, right? They're scared of water, but they don't care about fire. And they're just slaying them. Their weapons are just ripping through the armor, and it's just craziness and mayhem. And we finally get to see a little bit of Jaime's skills. He actually kind of defends himself a little bit with his left hand. His pin still just hanging down, saying what's up, you know what I'm saying? But they're just getting overwhelmed. Cersei. Daenerys keeps swooping down, Dracarys and everything, and the Dothraki are just ripping them apart. They're dying too, but for the most part, they are just stomping them. And Jaime realizes they're gonna be screwed if they don't take that dragon down. And apparently, they had a dragon weapon with them. He says, "Get on the ballista. I can't fire it with his hand. You go do it." So he's running, but he starts getting chased by this Dothraki, and my heart's just like beating. I'm like, oh man, is Bronn gonna die? I kind of want him to, so the dragon doesn't get hurt, because the dragon's a badass. But Bronn's kind of cool, even though he's just kind of like, I don't know, he was always kind of a shady dink. But like, I don't know, something about him now, I don't care for him as much. He's very gold driven, but he always was. Like, he really hasn't changed. I don't know, it's just the way I felt. Tell me how you felt about that. But he's being chased down. And then the Dothraki, they'd have a little jousting match. Dothraki wins by cutting his horse's legs off. He barely gets away, gets to the ballista and shoots the Dothraki, winds up another reload, fires the first one at the dragon, misses by an inch, and she sees it. She tracks it down. All the attention's on the ballista now at this point, and I'm like, holy crap, are they actually going to kill one of her dragons? Boom. Not really headshot, kind of more of a collarbone shot. Makes him go down, but he makes a nice landing. Looking to breathe fire. Boom, tail whips and blows up the ballista. I think Bronn kind of runs off camera there. So Daenerys thinks she can rip out this huge ballista bolt out of Drogo's scales. I'm like, you're not going to get that out. You're crazy. Jaime sees the moment, and he's thinking about it, and then we see Tyrion up on the hill saying, "Don't you do it, you idiot, run, retreat." Nope, he grabs a javelin and charges forth, and then Daenerys turns around, the dragon looks to him, and Jaime is about to die for probably the 5th time this episode. He almost got killed so many times. Dracarys, boom, and then it looked like Bronn tackles him in the end zone into the water. They sink all the way to the bottom. That hand must be heavy. He is going to drown now. That pimp hand is pulling him down under. He might have to take it off, honestly. But got his ass saved. But that was a deep... I thought it was just a puddle at first. I didn't realize it was a lake. What the hell? But, yeah. So that's how it ended. Just like, boom. Instantly. Crazy. Like, man, my heart was just racing. That episode was an easy 9, 9.5. Like I said, there's apparently some people thinking Arya's skills were a little bit crazy, but it's not unreal, like I said, to think her skills are, a little bit different because of the mask and all of the experiences and all that kind of stuff. So I didn't see any kind of issue with that. So episode was very well done. Like it was awesome. I want to know what you guys think. Do you guys think the dragon is going to die from his wound? Do you guys think the dragon Jamie's obviously going to live? Like, I don't know, let me know if you think he's not. But what does this change about the war? Let me know down below. I think the dragon is not going to die. I think he's going to be out of commission for a little bit. Like, he's not going to be able to fly right away. Maybe. But how does he get home if he can't fly either? It's a little bit weird. Excellent episode, like I said. You got to check it out if you haven't. Apparently, it leaked a little early. I waited till Sunday to see it. So check it out. Give me some love down below, guys. And I'll be back next week with episode 5's review once again. And this is Chaos Spike signing out.